Hi everyone, my name is Jason Koo. Today I want to show you how to create small batches of synthetic graph data using Claude Desktop with Neo4j's Cypher MCP server. Now, in a previous video, I showed how to set up the server with Claude Desktop, so I'll just leave a link for that. But if you want to double check to make sure that the server is still up and running, what you do is you go to Claude and click on their settings. And if you go down to the developer tab, look here, and you'll see your MCP server up and running. So I was so impressed with Meta's smart glasses that I thought for today we'll do a use case where we are creating data for a company that sells smart glasses. So let's start with creating products. Now, I found in the past to make sure that Claude knows that we want to insert data into a Neo4j instance, just going to start with something like, let's create some data into my Neo4j database. And let's start by adding a list of 6 products for a smart glass company with the following 3 properties. ID, an integer starting from 1, name, just a simple name for the product, and what the sale price for that product is. Now, the reason we're starting with integers starting from 1 is it makes it easier to randomly connect different data in the future. Okay, so here we've got a read statement, review each action carefully before approving. So here it just wants to check what the existing schema of the database is. Now, if we go to the database, we can see that it is empty, so it will return nothing. Now, you have 2 options when Claude is asking to run things. Always allow or allow once. For read statements, generally I'm fine with always allow, but if you're using a new server, I definitely recommend using the allow once until you're comfortable. For write statements, I definitely recommend only using allow once, never allowing always allow. Okay, so what Claude wants to do is just add our 6 products. Great, we'll allow once. And here it looks like Claude wants to do some additional, create some additional data about an organization, basically our mock company, and tie those products to that company, which would actually be fine. It kind of would flesh it out. So in this case, we'll go ahead and let that run. And here, looks like it wants to add some additional data. Here we'll decline this. Okay, so if we go back to the database, it looked like it did add 1 node that it didn't really need. Oh, no. Okay, so I did stop it from adding the additional data. So here we've got the 6 products that we are interested in. Now, let's go back to Claude. And what I want to do now is I want to add customers who will purchase these products in the future. So we're going to create a list of 12 customers with the following properties: ID, integer starting from 1 again, and just a name. Okay, this is the write query to add the 12 customers. And again, Claude wants to add in the company and some additional info. Well, we'll just decline this to keep the data cleaner for review. All right, so we should have the 6 products and 12 customers in the database now, which will be not connected at all. Good. Now we're going to connect the customers and the products by adding in a request to create purchase orders. So let me walk through this bit here. So here we're going to add a list of 24 orders, and again, it will contain an ID, and then just adding in some properties here, the date that it was ordered and the date that was fulfilled. Now, what I'm not going to do is not going to put in the actual product purchasing info in here because this node just represents the order itself. What we want to do is we want to create relationships between that order and the products and the customers. So here in the second line, we've got each order should connect with one existing customer node, randomly select an ID between 1 and 12 using normal distribution. That way it doesn't clump up and try to evenly distribute the orders, and label them ordered by. This last statement is telling Claude to take these orders and pair them with 1 to 3 existing products. So each order and each customer is basically buying just a single product or up to 3, just to minimize the total spread, and randomly select an ID between 1 and 6, again using normal distribution, and to label them as contains relationship types. Also, include a count property to that relationship. This would allow us to later query for total product counts, right? So there's going to be a relationship between the order and a product, and the number of those products that were part of that order will be contained in the relationship, not in either nodes. Okay, all right, let's go and run this and see if Claude can insert this data. Here, it's just reading the database again. Not sure why it ignored the always run from before. Looked like they tried two different queries. One was just kind of like singular creates. Is that what it was trying? Okay, and then here it is contains. Okay, so here it is creating the product relationships. The orders contains a product relationship. Okay, I think it's doing this in batches. So for orders that only contain one product versus those that contain 2 or 3. And then here, what does it want to do? Here it wants to add some additional information here. I'll decline this part. This looks complete. We can check the database. Great. Looks like we have we have 2 customers who have made no purchases, and a clump of other orders. Not. Okay, so this, as you can see, is starting to get a little dense. So here I'm just going to double check the schema. And we can see here that we have what we expected. We have customers, we have products, and then the orders that bind them. All right, so that's how you can use Claude Desktop with Neo4j's Cypher MCP server to create small batches of synthetic graph data. That way you can test out ideas or try out building applications on top of the data that you generate. Anyways, I hope that was useful. Happy coding, and I'll see you in the next one.